Here's Prescott, just throws it deep as far as his arm can take him. He caught it!
Micah Parsons on the move. Micah Parsons is in! Welcome to the big show, Tony Pollard.
Oh, going deep, it is intercepted.
But I'm not going to say a word, but I will say one thing right now.
Prescott, touchdown. Good protection, and the pass wide open. Touchdown, Lamb.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. It's Space Cowboy here with another video for you guys here today, and we have some breaking news out of Dallas. We have a trade. The Dallas Cowboys have acquired quarterback Trey Lance from the San Francisco 49ers, and the 49ers get the Cowboys' 2024 fourth-round pick. This is a very interesting move for the Cowboys, and I know everybody's throwing videos out there trying to figure out what's going on. Oh, they're trying to get rid of Dak, or oh, they're trying to develop him and do this. I know, we don't have answers and we want answers, but what we're going to do in today's video is we're going to go through what we gave up. Obviously, we already did that. Then we're going to talk about where we're at as a team right now at the quarterback position, and then what scenarios I think could play out given where we're at as a team. Now, before we get fully into this video, if you could please hit the like button. Show support for the channel, helps fight against the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for that. Next, if you are new around here, I'd highly suggest you subscribe. With the regular season around the corner, you don't want to miss more content as it comes out. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Over 92% of you guys watching are not subscribed, so please, I recommend, if you love the content you're seeing, stick around as we go through the 2023 regular season for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, let's go ahead and let's dive into where we're at right now with the Cowboys completing the trade, giving up their fourth-round pick in 2024 for Trey Lance. The first thing that comes to mind is, what does this mean for the quarterback room for the Dallas Cowboys? Well, right now, you have Dak Prescott, you have Cooper Rush, you have Will Grier, and now you have added Trey Lance into the room. Given how things are panning out, we have received word that this will mean that Will Grier is no longer going to be a Dallas Cowboy after the final preseason game. No, you will not see Trey Lance play in the final preseason game for the Dallas Cowboys. So now that we've gone over the compensation for Trey Lance and acquiring him, we need to talk about his contract, what's his cap hit and such. So the Cowboys fully guaranteed the contract. The 49ers didn't take any cap hits away from the Cowboys whatsoever. So if you don't recall, Trey Lance is a part of the same draft class as Micah Parsons, the 2021 NFL draft class. He was selected third overall. He has 2 more years remaining on his contract before the Cowboys could possibly pick up his 5th-year option by May of 2024. So this year, $940,000 is the cap hit. Next year, again, they had to pick up his 5th-year option before May of 2024. He has a $5 million cap hit. If they do not pick up his 5th-year option, he becomes a free agent in 2025. If they do, we're talking about maybe between $11 to $20 million. I saw some figures, a decent amount of them say $11 million. I've seen some say between 15 to 20. I went with the 11 because that was what I saw the most of. So still, it's going to be a hefty 5th-year option. So if the Cowboys elect to pick up that 5th-year option, they have control of him until 2025, or rather 2026, and then he'll be a free agent at that point in time. So look, the Cowboys have at least 2 years of control of Trey Lance. So now the question is, okay, so it's not a terrible contract that we're taking on. He's only 23 years old. He turned 23 in May. What are the Cowboys trying to do here? And I think that that's where a lot of people are running one way or the other. It's, oh, they're trying to find the successor to Dak Prescott. Oh, he's a bum. They're just bringing him in to develop him. Everyone's kind of all over the place. So what we're going to do next is talk about the possible scenarios that can take place. Now, before we get into the scenarios, I want to first put this disclaimer into this part of the video, because if there's one thing that I can get across to anybody watching this video, it should be this point. we should be rooting for Trey Lance to succeed here in Dallas. That has nothing to do with me wanting him to be a future starter. That has nothing with me trying to make him a trade piece so we can do none of that. We should be rooting for any player that comes into this organization to give them a fair shot and make them make a name for themselves. I know that I'm hard on other players than others. You know me. And like I said, it's on them to prove me wrong, but I want them to succeed. Everyone knows I'm very tough on guys like Kelvin Joseph and such, but I need them to prove me wrong. So far, he's been having a decent preseason, so okay, he's doing things there. But we shouldn't be using this as a focal point to berate other Cowboys players like Dak Prescott. I've been seeing that a ton already. We want to see Trey Lance be the best version of himself that he can be. If he flames out in Dallas, that sucks, but we want him to be successful. We want this team to be successful. That's all I'm just trying to get across. You can agree or disagree with me, but again, I want him to be successful. So now getting into the scenarios, the first one would be you get nothing out of it. You know, hey, Trey Lance is here for 2 years. He doesn't come anything close to being a possible backup. You get him primarily because maybe you want to get intel on the 49ers. You know, we talk about it all the time. When you have guys that come into this organization and go to another team like a division rival or another team we're about to play, oh, they're trying to get intel and stuff. You know, the Cowboys do that stuff too, and it looks like they're trying to do that with the 49ers. You know, they've been the menace that's been in front of us these past 2 years. So maybe, just maybe, with Trey Lance being there, with Kyle Shanahan and company, maybe that's what the Cowboys want to do, right? But I don't think that's the primary reason of why they traded for Trey Lance in the 4th-round pick that it was, right? I even put it out there that I did want the Cowboys to draft a quarterback. I wanted Dorian Thompson-Robinson. He's over in Cleveland tearing it up in the preseason, but I digress. Trey Lance, I like Trey Lance. I think that he's got good intangibles. I think that he is a guy that if you can develop him right, which Mike McCarthy has been known to help develop quarterbacks, he would be a very talented dude, to say the least, and maybe, just maybe, things will pan out. But again, we'll get to that scenario in just a second. So the first one, you get him, try him out for 2 years, maybe 3. He doesn't pan out. Sucks, but hey, you have your third developmental guy behind Cooper Rush and Dak Prescott, and you just go from there. The second is he turns into a very solid backup quarterback and possible trade piece. This is the one thing, if there's the most minute thing that we can get out of this, is that I've been the biggest proponent of upgrading the backup quarterback position. Anybody that's followed me and just, you know, looked at what I said throughout the offseason, you need to upgrade from Cooper Rush. That's no insult to Cooper Rush, but I think that you need to find something more, because Cooper Rush literally was one really defensive Herculean effort away in that stretch from just looking, oh my God, like the Cowboys are a terrible team, right? And that's no insult to Cooper Rush. He did his thing, but you could do better, right? Let's just call it what I see it. So right now, I don't think you're going to see what Trey Lance can be unless something drastic happens, right? But assuming that, again, regardless of what happens this year, like the Trey Lance acquisition doesn't have any effect of what happens this year unless, again, something crazy happens. But in 2024, we need to see if Trey Lance can turn into QB2. Can he develop into a competent backup quarterback and possible starter that a team might be like, oh, wow, the Cowboys actually developed Trey Lance. Maybe we can get a 3rd-round pick for him. Or maybe, just maybe, the final scenario that possibly could be what the Cowboys are looking at. And again, this is a medium risk, high rewards, transaction for the Cowboys. He becomes your future starter with Dak Prescott leaving after his deal expires. So Dak Prescott has 2 more years remaining on his contract, 2023, 2024. I did say that if the Cowboys were looking to tank and get a QB of the future, You're going to have to, like, basically punt 2024. And he's going to have a massive, and I mean massive cap hit of nearly $60 million. Now, with adding Trey Lance into the mix, it makes things a bit more interesting. Because with Trey Lance, I need to see what this guy could be. And maybe that's what the Cowboys are trying to do here. Maybe the Cowboys are looking at, hey, this dude's a 23-year-old guy, a guy like Aiden O'Connell that they were interested in the 2023 draft process. They wanted to originally go with him with that 4th-round pick, but they didn't. The Raiders ended up getting him, right? So you look at where things are at, and I say to myself, okay, well, at this juncture, you have a guy that's the same age as Aiden. He has experience in the NFL already. In college, he's had only a handful of starts. I believe only 17 starts in college. But the key thing is what can you get out of it? And I think that some people are comparing it to, it's Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. I don't think it's like that, because the fact is that Dak Prescott's 30. We understand that you don't know what can happen next. And I think that you always need to be prepared for the worst case scenario. If Dak Prescott continues to get hurt, if Dak Prescott ends up not being a valuable piece to the team in the sense of his availability is no longer there, you could be in a situation where you're like, okay, let's see if we can develop Trey Lance. And if Trey Lance gives you any indication that, this dude can be a guy for you, you kind of have to think, okay, maybe that's the route you want to go down. Some people say, is there leverage? And I don't think so. I think that for Dak Prescott, the leverage is still there because, dude, you don't have any knowledge of what Trey Lance can be in the Cowboys system. We don't know that. And odds are we won't figure that out until a while down the road. But again, I think that this brews competition, and I'm excited for that, number one, because I want to see Dak Prescott get pushed to the limit. But I think that this will help Trey Lance significantly. I think that Trey Lance learning from a guy like Dak Prescott and just understanding things about the game, the position, can help him out. And so, if the Cowboys decide to pick up his, 5th-year option, or they extend him, let's say they give him like a 2-year extension, cheap extension, maybe 3. Maybe the Dallas Cowboys sit there and say, hey, you know what? You got to look at it this way. Hey, Tony Romo, he didn't get his starting gig until he was 26 years old. And to me, I think that it does the Cowboys wonders for them to see if they can develop a guy and get something out of it. And those are really the 3 scenarios. Either number one, you just brought him in to just give you intel and he just doesn't turn it into anything. Number 2, he turns into a competent backup quarterback and possible starter that you can trade for extra draft capital. And then the final is he turns into your future starter. And again, I don't think that anybody should complain about the acquisition in the sense of, I think that Trey Lance is shit and I don't want him to take Dak's job. He's not doing that this year or possibly even next year, right? The fact is we just want to see what we got and we have to go through options. I think it's healthy for an organization to take that investment. Again, it's just, it is what it is, right? Again, this is no insult to Dak. I think that this will motivate him. I think, or maybe not, I don't know. But again, that's okay. But at the same time, it's going to be funny just trying to see people say that, Trey Lance is going to beat out Dak Prescott when the dude got beat out by Brock Purdy and Sam Darnold. Again, that's just where we're at right now. Let's just hope things work out well. Again, you guys tell me down below what you think about the acquisition. Is it good? Grade it. Give me a grade. I'm going to give it maybe a solid B. I mean, I got to see. I wish that Trey Lance was going to play in this final preseason game. But again, I think for him to sit and learn, I think that's pretty cool. So I'm going to leave that at that, guys. I think he'll take number 15. I hope he does. That would be pretty badass. If not, we'll see what other numbers he is given. But that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and again, tell me down below, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, hit that notification bell, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye.